From the islands of Zion we ride. Ooh, truth in my heart, fire in my eye. Ooh, yeah, they hid the light, but we still survive. The Most High calling His tribes. Oh no.
From the islands to Zion we ride. Truth in my heart, fire in my eye. They hid the light, but we still survive. The Most High calling His tribe. From Nassau to Kingston we sing. Freedom ain't gold, it's a spiritual thing. We the ones the prophets did bring. Lost but found, now we can get. They say we free, but we still in chains. Babylon system.
Great day in the Bahamas to see y'all, man. I am happy to see this.
Y'all gave all that we supposed to keep. No wrong cup, I sip living water. Teach these sons, protect these daughters. Sabbath said that I ain't moving no brick. Word on my tongue, that's the real stick. Tell my Bahamian brothers, keep the light on. Tell my island sisters, stay Zion strong. No more dreams, chained to Babylon song. King returning, it won't be long gone. Them think we slow, but we wise, now you see. True crack open like the corns by the sea. Granny been say, boy, pray and stand firm. Now we know it's up, we finally learn. We ain't bowing to no idol king. Johnson coming, I feel that sting. From Freeport Dock to Cat Island Shore, we singing Revelation, Babylon, oh, oh, oh. From the islands to Zion we ride. Truth in my heart, fire in my eye. They hid the light, but we still survive. The Most High calling His tribe.
And He shall gather His people from the eyes as far off. Bahamas, Jamaica, Haiti, stand up, the truth has returned.
Shalawam, shalawam, shalawam. Salakia. Once again, shalawam, peace and blessings. Shalom. Let's give all praises, honor, glory, esteem to the Father Yahawah. Once again, all praises be to the Most High, Yahawah, the Ancient of Days, the Giver of Life, the Taker of Life, our Father, Yahawah, and His only begotten Son, Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Shalawam, shalom, peace and blessings to all of the Ahchyam, the Ahchwathyam, brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth. We send out our peace and blessings to you on this fifth day. The water for all those tune in and will tune in. Thank you. We appreciate it. Do the ministry a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you can know when we go live, and give a thumbs up. It helps the video go out into the algorithm so the rest of our brothers and sisters that are scattered across the four corners of the earth can be edified. And if you believe in your heart and your mind and your soul that the message is edifying, as always, please share the video. You can see today we're going to be talking about obedience. That's what it's going to be about, obedience, right? We were given blessings and curses. So as always, let's get into it. Open up your Bibles. Turn to the book of Romans. If you don't have your Bibles, it'll be on the screen. Let me share my screen. Turn to the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 1. Romans chapter 9, verse 1. Please turn there with me. Romans chapter 9, verse 1, and it reads, I say the truth in Hamashiach. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Kodash Rakah, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. So he's speaking about the flesh right now, who are Israelites, who are Paul's people? Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Elohim and the promises. A lot of this is going on in the world today when it says the services or the service, Salaki. Everybody is jumping up, opening up the word of the Most High and doing the service. But it says the service was given to who? It tells you right here, the Israelites. That's who the service was given to. And the promises. Verse 5, it says, where our fathers, or so who saw our fathers, and whom as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all, Elohim Barak forever. So what I want to speak about today real quick, not going to hold you long, but it's covenants, right? That's where the blessing and the curse come in at. Also obedience, because we know he brought the children of Israel where? Out of Egypt, out of bondage. So let's go back there. Let's go back there to the book of Exodus. Turn with me there. Exodus chapter 24. Let's go back there. Exodus chapter 24, verse 2. And Moses alone shall come near Yahawah, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yahawah, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice. So all of the children of Israel that were present at this particular time, they came together and they said all with what? One voice, meaning they all agreed. They were on one agenda. They were in unity, so to say, and said all the words which Yahawah have said we will do. Notice they didn't say all the words that Moses said we will do. They said all the words of the Father, Yahawah, the Ancient of Days, the giver of life, the Almighty. They said, we will do. Now, when you try to tell people this today, they say that that's Moses' law. But we see here that it's not Moses' law, because when the people were actually there and they were speaking, they didn't say anything about Moses. All Moses did, he was a messenger. It said Moses came and what? Told the people. That's all he did. He brought the very word of what? The Most High, just like Hamashiach, just like his only begotten son. That's why he's called the very word. He brings the word of the Most High. Moses did the same thing here in Exodus 24 and 3. And the people acknowledged that. They acknowledged that. And they say, all the words which the Most High Yahawah have said, we will do. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahawah. So Moses actually wrote these things down. The Most High was using him as his messenger to give his message to the people. And rose up early in the morning. Let me put it up, son. So after he wrote these words, he rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. So all the people that received this very word, and all the people that agreed that they would hearken and listen and take heed to these words, when Moses heard that agreement, he wrote all those things down. He rose up early the next morning and he built an altar. And in that altar, he set 12 pillars representing what? The 12 tribes of Israel. That's important for you to know. Very important. Verse 5. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto YAHAWAH. Verse 6. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in a basin, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. We have to understand he's doing something with what? Blood. Why? Because the life is in the what? Blood. When you go back to Genesis, when he asked who? Cain, about his brother Abel, what did he say? He said that his blood is crying out to me. What have you done? Meaning the blood has an actual voice. Why? Because that's where the life is. That's where your force is. It's in the blood. So we see here he sprinkled blood on what? The altar. And that altar was built for the Most High. And we know it was 12 pillars there representing 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 7. And he took the book of the covenant. You might call it the Holy Bible. But it's actually referred to as the book of the covenant. I know it says Holy Bible on the front of it, but it's really a book of what? A covenant. That's what you're holding. That's what you're holding. That's what you say you believe in. The book of the covenant. That's why I started off in Romans chapter 9 and I read down. Now, mind you, it says in Romans that the Israelites were given what? The covenants, plural, with an S at the end. The old covenant and the new covenant. And I'll show you that since I spoke on it right after this. Just give me a second. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. So he has an audience. He has someone or some people that he's speaking to in front of him. This is who it pertains to. This is who it pertains to. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that Yahweh have said, we will do. All that the Most High have said, we will do. And be what? Obedient. One word, one agreement. These people, they said, all that the Most High has said, we will do it and we will be obedient. Verse 8. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of what? The covenant. So these people were in a covenant. They're entering into a covenant right now of what? Obedience. That's the covenant of what? Obedience. Everything that was delivered to them, they said that they would be obedient. And this is the covenant that they're entering into. A blood covenant. Which Yahweh had made with you concerning all these words. Now, I know somebody going to say, well, this is in Exodus. Like I say, they're going to say this is the Old Testament. This is the Old Covenant. Now, let's see what the New Covenant says since I spoke on it. Let's go back. We'll come right back to the Torah in 1 second. Turn with me to Hebrews chapter 8. Hebrews chapter 8. You can see it on the screen, right? Hebrews 8 and 8. This is the what? New Covenant. I'm going to start at verse 8. And finding fault with them. Who did he find fault with? Those same people that said that they was going to be obedient. He said, behold, the days come, saith the Most High Yahawah, the Father, when I will make a new covenant. So he has to make a new covenant. We know the covenant has to represent what? Blood. He already did it right there, what I show you in Exodus 24. So this new covenant, it has to be some bloodshed again, because it's new. When I make a new covenant with the house of who? Israel and the house of Judah. Why does he say Israel and Judah? Well, anybody who knows, because there was a split. And then in that split, you had the northern kingdom and you had the southern kingdom. So that's why he says Israel and Judah, because they had split into two different kingdoms. Verse 9, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out the land of Egypt. Bondage. Some people may say Mizraim. Because they continue not in my covenant. What I just read to you in Exodus 24. They didn't continue being what? Obedient, as they said that they would. The agreement that they said that they would. All that you have said, we will do and be obedient. But they wasn't that. They didn't hold up their part of what? The bargain. They reneged. So the Most High is saying, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not. So he didn't even regard them anymore. When somebody doesn't regard you, they don't pay attention to you. They're not concerned about you. They're not thinking about you. Saith Yahawah. Verse 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahawah. I will put my laws into their mind. So this is the beginning, as you would say, of the new covenant. He's telling you. What does the new covenant represent? He says, I will put my laws into their mind. Doesn't say anything about he changed any laws. Those laws were already established from the Almighty, the everlasting, the Ancient of Days. He has no need to change anything because he's the Ancient of Days. He sees from everlasting to everlasting. So what need would he need to go back and reconfigure something or re-edit something? Why? The very word, as Paul says, was holy. It is holy. It was the people in their flesh that had a problem with the very word of the Most High. Not the word. It was the people. Why? Because the flesh had led them to what? Sin. And because they had received the law, and they said, all that you said, we will do and be obedient, there lies in the problem. There lies the problem right there. They said that they were going to be obedient. They said that they were going to hearken and take heed to the very word, and then they regarded it not. So it wasn't the word that was the problem. It was the people. It was their hearts. They were stiff-necked. They were hard-headed. But on this new covenant, he's going to do it a different way. He's not just going to give you the word. He says he's going to put it inside of you. What is he going to put inside of you? His laws. So when people say that they're in the new covenant, but then reject the very law that he says he's going to put in their mind and write them in their hearts, are they really in the new covenant? Are they? Because right here, this is what it says. I will put my laws. Let me click on that word laws real quick. And let's just go into it and see what law, if it gives us that is speaking about, right? It's the Greek 3551, right?
Strong's G 3551, Namas.
Okay, it has a lot of different things here, as we can see on the outline biblical usage. It says anything established, anything received by usage, a custom, a law, a command. Well, we know the commands were given at Mount Sinai, where we just went over that. Exodus 20, Exodus 21, 22, 20, all the ones, of any law whatsoever. A law or rule, right? But what I'm really getting to right here, as you can see, as it says in 2 of the Mosaic law. At the bottom line, that's what it's going to, right? It even says a precept, which is a commandment, a rule of action prescribed by reason. Well, I mean, he said don't murder, don't be a thief, don't commit adultery, all those things. Love the Most High, Yahawah, with all your heart, mind, and soul, right? Don't bow down to no graven images. Those are rules. And telling you what actions not to perform, not to do. And where do we find that? In the Mosaic law. So this is what it's talking about. It's talking about the law that was given to the children of Israel in that covenant that they entered into in Exodus 24:8, when the blood was sprinkled on the altar, sprinkled on the book of the covenant, and also sprinkled on who? The people. And this is the new covenant. He says, I will put my laws, the Mosaic law, into where? Their mind, meaning you will recall those things. You will meditate on those things. You will know those things and write them in their hearts. Why? Because we have a stony heart, a wicked heart. Jeremiah, he already told us the heart is what? Desperately wicked. Who can know it? But if you have the laws of the Most High in your heart, then your heart can't be wicked. Can't be. Because darkness can't be with light. And we know that the Most High is all light. There's no darkness in him. It tells us that in John. Then he goes on to tell us, and I will be to them a power. In the Hebrew, Allah. He's going to be a power to us. That's why all throughout this New Testament, he says you haven't been given the spirit of what? Fear. But of what? Power. That's in 2 Timothy 1:7 and many other places. You haven't been given a what? Spirit or a rakah of fear, but of power. And he goes on to say, and they shall be to me a people, a chosen people. 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor. And we know we are still proclaiming the word to this very day. So if we were fully in this new covenant and it was fully established, then we would no longer need to bring forth the gospel into the world. Because he says right here in verse 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Most High YAHAWAH. And we're clearly doing that this very day. I'm doing it right now, a lesson on obedience. So someone might say in their mind and in their heart, well, wait a minute. So you're telling me that the new covenant is not started? I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's not in this, I will say it like this, in its full potential. It is not complete. It has not came all the way back around in full circle. Because he says right here, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. And brothers and sisters, we have to be truthful and know that not all knows him. Not all of Israel knows the Most High, from the least to the greatest. Now there was blood shed. There was blood shed to open up the new covenant. Let me show you that real quick. Let's go here, Galatians chapter 4. Galatians chapter 4. Shalawam, Sister Dorothy Thawada, for being here. All praises be to the Most High YAHAWAH. The water. Now here we are in Galatians chapter 4, verse 4, right? And then it reads, but when the fullness of time was come, Ahchyam sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law. Notice it says, the fullness of time was come. I like how it says it. Oh boy, already, huh? Already. This must be a powerful message. As long as you guys can still hear me, it's okay. In the NIV it says, but when the set time had fully come, the right time, the fullness of time, letting you know that what? This was predestined. There was a time that had been set before the foundation of the world that our brother was going to come. Hamashiach Yahushai was going to come. It's letting you know when that set time was at hand, the Most High sent forth his son, made of a woman, made what? Under the law. So even his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushai, had to keep what? The law. I just showed you that in Hebrews 8 and 8 on down. And now we're in Galatians. What was his purpose for coming at this fullness of time? What was the whole purpose? In verse 5 it tells us, to redeem them that were under the law. So the only begotten son of Mashiach Yahushai, the anointed one, the Messiah, he only came to redeem them that were under the law. That's what it says right here. This is not me reading it into it or, putting my own twist on what's written. No, it's right there. Galatians 4 and 5. You can read it for yourself. It's on the screen. King James Version. It was an appointed time that he was going to come, prophesy, all in the old covenant. And the reason he was sent and came was to what? Redeem them. What does it mean to redeem something? Does anybody know? It says to rescue, justify, vindicate. So he came to make the children of Israel right in the Most High's eyes. For the Most High, but in his eyes. To redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the what? Adoption of sons. I started off in Romans chapter 9, verse 1 going down to about verse 4. And Paul said all these things pertain to who? The Israelites. In Galatians, he's telling us that what? The adoption that people say in this world that they were, oh, I'm adopted in, oh, we're grafted in, all these things. Wait a minute now, hold on. Slow down. You're adding on to things that you have no idea what's going on. The Bible says, right, the Quadash covenant, the book of the covenant, it says that this man, our brother, Hamashiach Yahushua, was sent in the fullness of time. He came from a woman and he was made under the law. Why? To redeem them that were under the law. Who was under the law? The children of Israel. That they what? Might receive an adoption back to being what? A son and daughters. Why? Because the Most High had rejected them for being what? Disobedient. And he had considered them as what? Heathens. Gentiles, if so you want to say. Verse 6. And because ye are sons, Elohim have sent forth the Rakah of his son into your heart. So we have the Rakah, the spirit of who? Our brother. And we're crying, what? Abba. Abba Nawa Yahawah. Call Halal Yahawah. Halawah Yah. Halawah Yah. Halawah Yah. Verse 7, wherefore thou art no more a servant. Hamashiach Yahushua speaks about this, right? He goes into it in great detail, that the son abides forever. But whatever you give your life up to, right, that's what you become a slave to. You're no more a servant, but what? A son. Now you're a son of the Most High. And if a son, then you are heir of Elohim through Hamashiach. So we have to understand who needs to be obedient and what you need to be obedient to and why. So this is the beginning right here in Galatians 4, letting you know this is the beginning of what? That new covenant that Hamashiach Yahushua came to lay down his life to do what? I read it in 5, to redeem them that were under the law. Once they have been redeemed, because he has covered them in his blood, now we can come back to the truth and start to call him what? Abba, Father. All praises be to the Most High, Yahweh. And then we have to go and do what? We have to learn his very word. We have to learn, and what they call be baptized. We have to learn and be immersed in his word. And then we have to go back to where? Let's go to Leviticus 18. We have to go back to the Torah, to the law. Sister Dorothy says, I hear you, calm. You know, Satan trying to stop the word, but he ain't going to stop it. We're going to get it out, and it's going to go out to the four corners of the earth, right? Shalawam. He said, big Shalawam. Ahchyam, big Shalawam. Khan. The water for tuning in, Malakian. The water for being here. So with that all said and done, we went to Romans 9. We went to Exodus 24 when he sprinkled the blood on the altar, on the people, on the book of the covenant. I went to Galatians for you. Broke all that down. I went to Hebrews. Broke all that down. Now we back right here. Talking about some laws now. Right? Because we were like heathens. We were like Gentiles. We were just out in the world doing whatever and whoever. But when we come back to the Most High and we understand that Hamashiach Yahushua shed his blood, this is why he came back into the world, or came to the world to redeem those that were under the law. So now, like he said in Matthew 5:17, don't misunderstand why I have come. I did not come to do away with the law or the prophets. So if he's not doing away with that, then we as his people need to come back and have an understanding of the very word that was given. I'm just going to go to a few real quick. I'm not going to pull out the whole thing, but I'm going to go to a few. Leviticus 18:1, right? It says, and Yahawah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahawah, your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, bondage, wherein you dwelt, where you were, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, where he's about to take them, where I bring you, ye shall not do. Neither shall you walk in their ways, in their ordinances. Why? Because you're a set apart people. And all of the Ahchyam know out there, and the Ahchwathyam brothers and sisters know that we look at Deuteronomy 28:68 as we're back in Egypt bondage again. And if that's the case, and he told us then in the Torah, don't do the things of what? Egypt, then that's the same thing that applies to us now. If we're back in bondage again, don't partake in those things. Verse 4 lets us know, he says, you shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahawah, your power. Notice he keeps telling us that he's our power. So if you want power, if you want strength, if you want to be protected, if you want the hedge, if you want to be guarded, if you want to walk as a true Elohim on the earth, a priest, a king, all these different things that, brothers call themselves, then you have to keep his judgments and his ordinances. Verse 5, ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahawah. It's just a few kind of things, brothers and sisters, go back and read this for yourself. I'm just going to read off a few. Verse 6, none of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahawah. So you shouldn't sleep with anybody that you know is family in some type of way. I don't care, third, fourth, second cousin, whatever they be saying. No. Verse 7, the nakedness of thy father and the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. And the nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. And anybody who has read the scriptures, what son did this with his father's wife. It was a son of Israel who did this. If you know, put it in the chat, for those who know. Let me get this. Deuteronomy chapter 11 real quick. For those who know, you can put it in the chat if you want to. The son that slept with his father's wife. Waited till his father was gone, and then he crept in that tent. This is Deuteronomy chapter 11. I'm going to go right to it. Deuteronomy 11, and here it is, 26. Behold, I have set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing, everybody wants a blessing. You go to these churches, you go to the camps, congregation, wherever, everybody always asking for what? A blessing. But you can get that blessing only if you do what? If ye obey the commandments of Yahawah, your power, which I command you this day. So if you see these churches, these prosperity gospel people, and it seems like they're getting Barak or getting blessed with things of this earth, and they're not obeying the Most High commandments, who is giving all these blessings away? Who is pushing these prosperity gospel, these people that are in these congregations? It looks like they're winning, but who is giving them the things of this world? Well, we know at Matthew 4:4 and on down, it's Satan. He says, I'll give you all the things of the world. All you got to do is do what? Bow down to me. And how are you bowing down? By not obeying the commandments. You're truly under a curse. But since you're blind and you receive the things of this world, which are temporal, you think that you're getting blessed or Barak by the Most High, but in all actuality, it's Satan, it's Ahchwathyam. But his children know this, because his children know, and a curse if thou wilt not obey the commandments of Yahawah, your power, but to turn aside out of the way, which I commanded you this day, to go after what? Other deities, which you have not known. So this is what you get, that curse. And the Most High does things like this just to prove our people. Just to prove our people. He tells us this, and let me jump over a few more chapters. Let me jump to 13 real quick. Watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 13. Watch this. 13:1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder come to pass, meaning it come true. Look at all of these people who give signs and wonders and have all these churches and congregations. And he says, and it come to pass, right? It happens. Whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after this other deity. And people go, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet. He's telling you this. But since people don't read the law, they don't know this. Or that dreamer of dreams. You turn on social media, go on YouTube, everybody got a dream. They was in hell, they was in heaven, they was in this, they was in that. Everybody got a dream. For the Most High Yahawah, your power, what does he do? He's proving you. He's almost setting you up. He's trying to see if you're going to hearken to those people. Listen, there's a lot going on within the nation right now. A lot going on. And for those who know, you know what I'm talking about. We don't have to name names, but it's a lot going on within the nation. With the Ahchwathyam, the sisters, and the Ahchyam, right? And the Most High is what? Purging out all of the evil men that have taken his name for granted in vain. And those men have stood up and said, it don't matter what you say about me or what you show people about me, those people will not leave me. They will still remain under me and in my congregation. What you don't understand, that's Satan saying, no matter what you say, these people are mine. And the Most High is doing what? He's proving people to see if you're going to move or if you're going to stay under that delusion. And unfortunately, a lot of our Ahchyam and Ahchwathyam, our brothers and sisters out there, are still staying in these camps. And they're being loyal to the men of these camps, even though they have been shown to be unrighteous men. So who is your loyalty to? The man or to the Most High? And I always tell people your loyalty should be to the Most High, Yahawah, our Father. And he proveth you. He tells you right here, the reason he's proving you, to know whether you love Yahawah, your power, with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after Yahawah, your power, and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice. Who cares what those people say? Who cares if something comes to pass? It may just be the Most High proving you. Just because a man says something and it happened, and you believe that man, even though it's going against the word of the Most High, he's just proving you. He's putting you in that situation to see if you're gonna go with that man, that church, that camp, that congregation, or are you gonna obey and hearken to the Most High word? And like I said, for those who know what's going on in the nation, you can see a lot. We've been taking a lot of hits, big ones, and you see it's the same camp, it's the same type of people. And it's letting you know that that's an unrighteous seed. Those are tares amongst us. Those are tares that were looking like us. That were looking like we. The Most High is showing you. He's proving you. But if you want to stay, then stay. Nobody can make you leave. I just wanted to show you that. Let me turn here. Let's go to 1 Samuel real quick. 1 Samuel chapter 15. And you guys let me know if it's okay to sound, because I know I got this fan on because my computer be getting hot. It's hot out here in California. It's like almost 100 degrees, and it's 7 o'clock at night. And it's like 100 degrees. So I got the fan on to try to keep it cool. So that's what you guys might hear. It may sound like the wind is blowing, but I'm trying to keep it cool so it just don't shut off on me and overheat and fry. Turn to 1 Samuel 15 and 22. That's what I want. If I did say 2 Samuel, Salakia, my apologies. 1 Samuel 15 and 22. And Samuel said, this is Samuel and Saul having a conversation. Saul was the first king of Israel. And Samuel said, have Yahawah great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obey? Now Samuel was a prophet. When he was in his mother's womb, his mother knew he was already ordained to be a prophet. He had been one since a little boy. His mother, when he got off of the milk, off his mother's breast, she took him to the temple. So he was always walking with the Most High since he was born. And he's having this conversation with King Saul, and he's telling Saul, listen, what you did wasn't right. And he's saying, I know you wanted to sacrifice and do these things, but hey, it's better to what? Obey the voice of Yahawah. And it says right here, as in obeying the voice of Yahawah, behold, to obey is better than a sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. So at this time, we don't even have a temple to go up to and actually sacrifice. And Hamashiach Yahushua was our last sacrifice for us. And since we can't sacrifice, we sacrifice what? Our bodies. As Paul says in Romans 12, to do what? Obedience. That's the ultimate sacrifice right now. To obey his commandments. And if we rebel against that, and we do not keep his commandments, it says right here in verse 23, for rebellion, to rebel against the commandments and not keep them, is a sin of what? Witchcraft. So all those churches that we see and all those people within those churches, like I say, it seems like they're being blessed and barak and living good lives with things of this world, that they're getting all these things. But we have to understand those things and those people are dealing with what? Witchcraft. That's how Satan, Hasatan, is able to enter those congregations, because it's witchcraft. It says, in stubbornness is as iniquity and what? Idolatry. So if you have a congregation, if you have a camp or a church that's not keeping the commandments and teaching man not to keep them, that congregation is full of what? Sin. It's full of idolatry. It's full of what? Witchcraft. It's telling you right here. And he goes on to tell Saul, because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he have also rejected thee from being king. And if this was the king of Israel, you just being a noble servant of the Most High, and you reject his word, well, not even a servant, because if you was a servant, you would keep his word. But if you just reject his word, you're not even a king. You don't think that he's going to reject you? Stop being so high-minded, people. Of course he's going to reject you. We have to hearken to his word and be what? Obedient. Let me go to Luke real quick. Let me see. The sister Dorothy says, Khan, I stopped keeping up with all the scandalous behavior in Yasharallah. Khan, all praises be to the Most High. I get enough scandal, right? We get enough scandal with all of the outside world, and then we have to deal with it in the inside world. But that's just the Most High purging out that wickedness that was in us. They were liars. They were deceivers. They were men of unrighteousness. But not all people could see that. All praises be to the Most High that certain people could see it, right? Certain people could see it. Mayana Pasha, she says, the sound is good. Sounds like the wind whipping. Khan. And then Sister Dorothy put the smiley face. And then Uziah put peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings to you. The water for being here. The water for being here. Peace and blessings. Shalawam. Right? Turn with me to Luke real quick. Luke, we're going to go to the New Testament. Luke chapter 14. Real quick. I'm going to read it in the New Living Translation. Luke 14:25. Not going to hold you too much longer. Just give me a little bit more time. Luke 14:25, right? This is our brother, of Mashiach Yahushua. And it reads, a large crowd was following Yahushua. He turned around and said to them, this is what he says to them, right? If you want to be my disciples, if you want to follow me, and following him is like following the Father, because the Father sent him as his only begotten Son. He says you must, by comparison, hate everyone else. This is what Hamashiach Yahushua is telling you, the only begotten Son. He says you got to hate everyone else. Your father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters. Yes, even your own life. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciples. So what is he telling you? Is he telling you to literally just go out and hate your father, your mother, your children, your brothers? No. What he's telling you is if they are not obedient to his word that he brought forth from the Father, you have to separate yourself from those disobedient people, and it may be your father, it may be your mother, it may be your wife, it may be your children, it may be your brother, it may be your sister. And then he goes on to tell you, you have to hate even your own life. Why? Because of the person you used to be before you became what? Born again and became an obedient servant of the Most High. 27. If you do not carry your own cross and follow me, you cannot be my disciple. But don't begin until you count the cost, people. And what I mean by that is, before I came into the truth years ago, testimony real quick, I didn't know anything. As they call it, wet behind the ears. Someone told me. I was just starting to read. They said, hey, you know, when you get into this, you're going to have to change your life. It's going to be a big difference. You can't remain the person that you are now. And I said, yeah, I get it. They said, I'm serious. I'm trying to tell. I said, yeah, I got it. That's what you call a babe on milk. Didn't have the understanding. Did not count the cost before I started to build. And that's what this is about, brothers and sisters. A lot of people are in those churches, in congregations, and they have not counted the cost. They haven't counted the cost. He goes on to tell you, for who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there's enough money to finish? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money. And then everyone will what? Laugh at you. All those people that knew you came into the truth, you started wearing your fringes. You started saying Shalawam, Kwam Yasharala, keeping the Sabbath day, separated yourself from family members, friends, even maybe your own wife or your children or whatever. And then when you finally fall because you was only able to build on the foundation and that's it, you hadn't counted the cost. Luke is letting us know that those people going to laugh at you. They're going to say, aha, look at you. You thought you was this and you thought you was that. But you just like me. That's what they're going to say. Verse 30. They would say, there's a person who started that building and couldn't afford to finish it. Or what king would go to war against another king without first sitting down with his counselors to discuss whether his army of 10,000 could defeat the 20,000 soldiers marching against him? And if he can't, he will send a delegation to discuss terms of peace while the enemy is still far off. So you cannot become my disciple. Listen to this, brothers and sisters. He says you cannot become my disciples without giving up everything you own. He wants it all. You got to give it all up, brothers and sisters. And there it is. There lies the problem right there. There lies the problem. People are not willing to give everything up. Whatever it is, your job, your car, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your kids, your this, your wife, people are not willing to give it up. And that's the problem. And that's why he says, if you're not willing to give it up, if you're not willing to give everything up, everything you own, everything that you attach to, he says you're not willing to be my disciple. You can't. You can't. Let me jump back a little bit. Watch this. Luke chapter 5. This is Luke, same book. We just in 5 now. Luke 5. I'll start at 8. When Simon Peter realized what had happened, he fell to his knees before YAHAWAH and said, "O Master, Adon, please leave me. I'm such a sinful man." For he was awestruck by the number of fish that he had caught, as were others with him. his partners James and John, the sons of Zebedee, were all amazed. Yahushua replied to Simon, "Don't be afraid." A lot of us are afraid. And if you say, "Well, I'm not afraid," you know, then you haven't really walked this thing out. You haven't really walked this thing out. Because if the apostles were afraid, I mean, are you better than the apostles? That's all I'm asking. Are you better than Peter when he stepped out on the water? Because this is Peter, James, and John that were there with Hamashiach Yahushua. You're not even there with him. And he's telling them, don't be afraid. From now on, you'll be what? Fishermen are fishing for what? People. They won't be a regular fisherman anymore going out into the sea and throwing a rod out and getting fish in the net. No, that job, that task is over. There's no more. Now you're going to be going out and you're going to be getting what you were really put here on earth for, to fish for who? People. For those lost ones. Those ones that are lost in this world that need to hear what? That preacher. Verse 11. And as soon as they landed, they left everything and followed who? Yahushua. People are not willing to leave everything that they have. People just are not willing to do it here in this world that we live in. They're too attached to things in this world. But Peter, James, John, Simon, all of them, Matthew, everybody left everything that they were attached to follow who? The Mashiach Yahushua. They all left. And a Mashiach Yahushua had to do the same thing. He had to lay down his life for us. He had to be what? He had to obey. He had to be obedient. Let me get that real quick. Matthew chapter 26, real quick. He had to be obedient. Sister Dorothy says, Khan, the water. Let me get it in the King James. 26, I'm going to jump all the way down. I'm going to just go right to it, right? Right to it. This is in the garden. He's praying. I'm going to just go to 42. Matthew 26 and 42. It says, he went away again the second time and prayed, saying, "Oh, my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done." Meaning I'm going to be obedient to what it is. Whatever it is you want me to do, whatever it is that I have to do, I'm going to be obedient to that. I would like for this cup to pass. I would like not to be put to death. But you know what? I know I have to, and I have to be obedient. I can't run off. I can't run off. I can't go to another country. I can't go hide in the ship. I can't do that. 43. And he came and found them asleep again. Who? The disciples, the apostles, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed a third time, saying the same words. So he didn't pray once. He didn't pray twice. He prayed 3 times the same thing. But once again, nevertheless, thy will, Father. Whatever you have planned for me, I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to do what it is that I have to do. Verse 45. Then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, sleep on now and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doeth betray me. Verse 47. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords. They came with all these things, ready to basically kill him or beat him up. Right? And we know who sent him out, the chief priest, as it says. 48. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whosoever I shall kiss, the same as he, hold him fast. So they already had a plan made up. You know, they had already talked about it. This is Judas that said, hey, when I see him, this is what I'm going to do. 49. And forthwith he came to Yahawashi and said, Hail, master, and kissed him. And Yahawashi said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahawashi and took him. So now this is how it all starts before he gets put to death. This is the beginning of it. And behold, one of them which were with Yahawashi stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. He cut off his ear. Then said Yahawashi unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish. You shall die with the sword. He goes on to tell him, Don't you think if not, I cannot pray to the Father, and he shall send more than 12 legions of Malaks? All he had to do was pray to the Most High. But he had already prayed 3 times. And he already had told the Most High, nevertheless, let it be your will. I'm going to be obedient. This is why he's telling that man, look, put your sword away. Don't you know I can call Malak, I can call angels, my Father, I can do so much. But I have to be what? Obedient. I have to obey. Just like he wants the apostles to obey, just like he wants us to obey, he had to obey. And I don't know why people think if he had to obey and walk out his calling, why you think we don't have to obey and walk out our calling? 54. But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that this or thus it must be, right? The scriptures have to be what? Fulfilled. Just like the scriptures about you have to be fulfilled. We know in Revelations it says, and the books were open. There are books written about you. Everything you say and everything you do is written down. This is why it says in I believe it's Matthew 12, that you have to give an account for every idle word that comes out of your mouth. You have to give an account for it. They're writing it down. The Malaks, the angels, are writing down right now what I'm saying. Everything I'm doing right now, the Malaks are writing it down. They're writing it down in a book. 55. In that same hour, said Yahawashi to the multitudes, Are you come out as against a thief with swords? I mean, look how he's coming at him. Did you come out to get a thief? You coming at me like I'm a thief. You coming at me like I'm a robber, like I'm a murderer, like I'm somebody who's just been out here doing harm to people. Why are you coming at me like this? He says, I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple. Daily. Not just on the Shabbat, not just on Sunday. He said daily, meaning every day he was where? At the temple, bringing the word forth. And if he was traveling, then he was at the temple or the synagogue where he could go, wherever he was traveling at. But he was always bringing forth what? The word. 56. Oh, Salakia, he says, and they laid no hold on me. So all that time he was in the temple, they didn't touch him. 56. But all this was done. Let's not forget, brothers and sisters, all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. So he had to walk this thing out, just like we have to walk out our thing. You have been chosen before the foundation of the earth. Then all the disciples, what did they do? They forsook him and fled. All of the disciples forsook him and fled, brothers and sisters. Why? Because they were afraid. They didn't want to be put to death. They didn't want to be murdered. They didn't want to be hung on a tree. They didn't know what was going on. These men that came to get them was from the high priest, and the high priest was very powerful, so they knew some things were about to transpire, so they got ghosts. Just like most people, when you're going to go through things in your life, especially for Hamashiach Yahushai, the only begotten Son, they're going to get ghosts. They're not going to be there. Those people that you call your friends, they're not going to be there when it comes time. If they forsook Yahushai, people are going to forsake you too. But it has to happen like that. So what? The scriptures can be what? Fulfilled, brothers and sisters. Remember, you have a calling. Remember, you're written about in these books. You're not just here on earth. You're here for a purpose, for a reason. Let me get that in the book of Ephesians real quick. We're getting ready to wrap it up. You know, he tells us this in Ephesians 1, right? I just started at 3. Barak be the Most High, the Father, and our Adon, Yahushua HaMashiach, who have what? Baraked us, exalted us with all spiritual blessings in the Shemayim, of heavenly places, in Hamashiach, according as he have chosen us. You were chosen. I highlight the whole thing. You were chosen, brothers and sisters, already. You were chosen. Before what? The foundation of the world. Before the world was even created. Before the things, before it was fish, before it was plants, before any of that, you were already chosen. That we should be what? Quadash, and without blame before him in love. That's why I went to Galatians 4 and 4, 4 and 5. That's why I started in Romans chapter 9. That's why I went to Exodus chapter 24. All these places that I went, Hebrews 8 and 8. I tried to show you, brothers and sisters, about the obedience, about why Hamashiach Yahushai came, the only begotten Son. And all these things had to happen just like you're here on the earth. The earth was created. If you read 2nd Ezra, for those who have read 2nd Ezra, it says the earth was created for us to dwell on. That was the whole purpose. He created the Rakas, right, the spirits, and he needed somewhere for them to go and dwell. So he created the earth. The reason why we're born on the earth is because he created us to dwell here. So it's not no accident that you're here. You're here on purpose. On purpose. For a reason. And what is that reason? That we should be what? Quadash, and without blame before him in love. Verse 5, having predestinated us unto what? The adoption that I spoke about earlier, brothers and sisters. That was just out there living any kind of way. Living like a heathen, living like a Gentile, living of the way of the world. But now you have an understanding who you are, what you are. You came back to the Most High, and now you want to serve him and be what? Obedient. You want to obey. So he has given you away, as Paul said in Romans 9 and 4, to be what? Adopted back in as sons. And if you're a son, then you are heir. Having predestined us unto the adoption of what? Children by Yahushua Mashiach to himself, according to the good pleasures of his will, to the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved, in whom, verse 7, in whom we have redemption through what? The blood of the only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. I already showed you in Galatians 4 and 4 and 5, who did he come to redeem? Those that were under the law. This is the adoption. This is everything right here. It's all laid out. If you missed anything, go back and watch it from the beginning. I mean, I don't know how it's cleaner I could lay it out. But if somebody else need it in another way, email me and I'll break it down again. Through the Rakah, through the Spirit, through the Quadash Rakah. Because all praises goes to the Most High, because I wouldn't know anything, I wouldn't be anything. None of us would if it was not for him and his only begotten Son, of Mashiach Yahushua, the Messiah, in whom we have redemption through his blood, through forgiveness of sins, according to the richness or riches of his grace, wherein He have what abounded toward us in all wisdom, having made known unto us the mystery. I'm gonna say that one more time. Having made known unto us the mystery of his will, brothers and sisters. It's a mystery to the rest of the world, but not to you. It's not a mystery to you, sister. Aqua, it's not a mystery to you. You get it. You understand it. It's plenty of people that have read the Bible over and over and over and over again, and they still don't understand it. They still can't get the what? Mystery. But here it's saying it had made known unto us the mystery of his will, according to his good pleasure, which he have what? Purpose in himself. I'm gonna stop right there because I could just continue on and continue on and continue on. But like I say, the Most High wants it all. And he wants us to be what? Obedient. It's the same thing Peter tells us in 1 Peter 1. You know, Paul is saying the same thing that Peter is saying. 1 Peter 1 and 2. I started to. Elect. You are elect. One of the sisters asked a couple weeks or a Shabbat ago, are you talking about that we are the elect? Yes. That's who they talking about. They're not talking about just any old body in this Bible. They talking about the elect, the chosen. He says elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High, the Father. Who? The Father. Why? Because he's from everlasting to everlasting. He knows everything. He foreknew what you're going to do. He knows what we're going to do, what we're going to go through. He knows how it's all going to end. Through the sanctification of the Rakah unto what? Obedience. Obedience. That's what he commands, and that's what he demands of us now. Sprinkling of the blood, I already went there and showed you about that. Of Yahawaah Mashiach, grace unto you, and peace be multiplied, Ahchyam and Ahchwathyam. Barak be Allah, and Father of our Adon Yahawaah Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercies have begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahawaah Mashiach from the dead to the inheritance and incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in the Shemayim for you and me, brothers and sisters, who are kept by the power of Allah through the faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in this last time, brothers and sisters, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, you are what? In heaviness, through manifold temptations. I know, brothers in Ahchyam, Ahchwathyam, brothers and sisters scattered out to the four corners, we are all going through the same thing. I know it's hard, day to day. They are pressing us to be going through it. It's always some drama. It's always something. We just be trying to walk through this life, give praises to the Most High. But it seems like something is always happening, and somebody always messing with us. It's something always going on, but that's Satan trying to take your joy away. You know, that's why James said, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. And it's easier said than done. Because believe me, I used to be the one that's always stressed out, always this, always that. But I just say, you know what? I just got to give it to the Most High. You know why? Because it's already predestined. It's going to be what it's going to be. Verse 7, that the trial of your what? Faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto the praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahawaah Mashiach, whom having not seen, you love, brothers and sisters, in whom, though now you see him not, yet believing, you rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of joy, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, of which salvation the prophets have inquired, searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you and me, brothers and sisters, searching what manner of time that Rakav Hamashiach, which was in them, did signify, when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Hamashiach and the glory that should follow, unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves, but unto us they did minister these things, which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Quadash Rakah, the Holy Spirit, sent down from the Shemayim, which things the Malaks desire to look into. As he said, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is brought unto you at the come on, brothers and sisters, the revelation of Yahawashi Mashiach as obedient what? Children. We have to obey. As what? Obedient children. Not fashioning yourselves according to the formulas in what? Ignorance. When we didn't know. Like I say, we were like Gentiles. We were like heathen. We were like scavengers. We were just in the world doing whatever and whoever. But verse 15 said, but as he which have called you is Quadash, holy, set apart, consecrated, sanctified. Peter says, so be ye Quadash, holy, in all manner of conduct, conversation, because it is written, be ye holy, for the Most High Yahawah himself is holy, brothers and sisters. And I'll leave you with that. Hopefully this message was edifying. If you believe it was edifying, please, I know my video was out, but if you feel like it was edifying, please share this with the brothers and sisters out there so this message can go out to the four corners of the world. Like I say, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, the bell so you can be notified. Please join us on the Shabbat, which is this Saturday coming up, 12 p.m. my time, Pacific Standard Time. Please join in. We got a good lesson as always. Yahawah willing, if I wake up and he give me another day of light, then I'll see you then on that Shabbat. Like I say, I hope this message was edifying. If you didn't catch the whole thing, please go back, watch it from the beginning. And like I say, if you feel in your heart, mind, and soul that it is, share it with someone, brothers and sisters. Because what good is lighting a candle, as Hamashiach Yahushua said, and put it under the bushel. Right? You want to light a candle and put it under the table. No. Let that light shine. The salt of the earth. All those things, brothers and sisters. So with that, I say Kwam Yasharallah, Shalawam, peace and blessings to everybody. May you have a good rest of your night. And may the Most High keep you, protect you from everything out there in this world. And know that that's your power. And he's your buckler. So with that, once again, I say Kwam Yasharallah, Shalawam, peace and blessings to you. And I see you on Shabbat. Kwam Yasharallah. Oh, Khan, let me, the Ox says Khan. He also says true. Then he says, great lesson, my brother. All praises be to the Most High. I wish y'all could see me so I could show my love. But, Satan try to stop me some kind of way. But he says, Mayana Pasha, she says, Shalawam Mashkapa, call Allah Yahawah, Shama Mashiach Yahushai, Barakatam to everyone. And then the Malakiam, he says, Shalom family, the water Abba for the lesson, Khan, the water for joining in. Make sure to join us on the Shabbat if you're not busy. 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'd love to see you out. And then the sister Dorothy says, the water for the class, Shalawam. Shalawam to all. I see you on the Shabbat. Yahawah willing. The water for being here.